Morning, guys. I hope you're well. So, today we are going to cover page 17 of my Manga chapter. So, as usual, for newcomers, I'll do a quick recap of what I'm doing and then we'll move on to the actual drawing. So, hi everyone, my name is Capel, and I've been trying to do mangas on my own for about a year and a half now. And obviously, it's really hard. And one thing that I did find frustrating when I started looking into it was the lack of resources online, generally speaking. So I thought I might share my own process after a year of going at it, because there's obviously a lot to learn, and you never stop learning in this field. So the way I like to panel my chapters usually is that I would usually draw a mini map of the entire chapter to get an idea of the flow of the story. And then I go page by page and I storyboard them. So I do a very, very rough draft. So again, this is the draft for the page 17, just to get an idea of the paneling. Make sure like the panels are well spaced and even. And also establish the main visual cues, which are usually going to be the heads of the characters and the speech bubble. So once this is done, again, I go through every single page and I do a second layer that is slightly more detailed. So now you have a more precise idea of what the page is going to look like. And then we can go ahead and add the text and the panels. And now I'm going to draw the rough draft, which is essentially the last draft for the page. And then we'll move on to the actual outline. So as usual, I only record myself during the first panel, and then I do the rest of the page on my own. Otherwise, the video would be a bit too long. And yeah. Okay, guys. So I finished the last draft. So in comparison with the last one, I might tinker a bit with it afterwards. But you know, this is a very small panel, so you don't need to get too detailed onto it. Something I do have a bit of struggle with is how to draw the speech bubbles. I never know whether, you know, they should be like perfectly even, right? Or I should just wing it. And it's really hard to tell which one's going to flow better. It's something I'm still working on. Like I know, I mean, most of my favorite mangas tend to, you know, just wing at it very spontaneously. That's like, you know, Berserk or One Piece. But if you look at like Vinland Saga, everything's like perfectly round, for example. And I'm still not satisfied with how they flow overall. Like if you look at the previous panels, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. You guys let me know. But yeah. So now we're going to move on to the outline. So see you guys in a bit. guys, so now we finished the outline. I mean, not a whole lot to comment on. This is, this isn't a very complex panels, but I mostly try to stick to the outline using the same brush for consistency. I guess it's a detail. I'm not the best at drawing eyes usually, mostly because they have a very odd shape and they do vary. Like I know this is like anatomically accurate, for example, but a small detail that I do find interesting that I've learned recently is that you kind of want to draw that line a bit thicker than the two others because you want the eyebrows is that the eyebrows? I have a doubt. I think it's called the eyebrows. The eyebrows to really stick out, which leaves it which makes it look a bit more realistic. But yeah, we're going to move on to the shading, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, guys. So I'm done with the shading. Again, for consistency, I've used the same brush that I use for the outline. But in terms of like how hard I press, it tends to be slightly lighter so that the outline stands out a bit more. And I guess one trick that I can share with you is how I shade the darker areas, uh, usually speaking. So here, light comes here, right? From that direction, right? So it would make sense for this area here to be the darkest. Something that I've seen some artists do, um, notably Murata, the author of One Punch Man, is that it tends to shade it really dark, but leave the outer side slightly more less dark. And that's because you also need to account for the fact that there is reflective light bumping off the ground and going back at it, meaning that the darkest area is not going to be right on the edge, but slightly off. So yeah, that's a cool detail I've also and I thought I'd share with you. So I might add some screen tones. I like to use gradients, usually speaking, but this is something that I'll look more into it later because you really need to account for the entire page when you start filling them in. So yeah, so this is going to be it for today, and I'm going to do the rest of the panels on my own, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next page. And I guess also, outside streaming um, my drawings on Twitch uh, while recording it. So if you want to hop in and say hi, don't hesitate. I try to keep an eye on it, even though I'm also watching videos or listening to music. It'd be cool if this becomes a thing. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys.